Hey guys, want to welcome you to this week's module, which is all about clarifying your dreams. So I just want to remind you, if you haven't done the previous models, to stop this recording right now, go back and take care of the modules before that. In order for you to get the maximum value out of your investment, it is important that you do all of the modules and answer all of the questions to the best of your ability, because we're building on knowledge, your knowledge of yourself. And so it's important that you don't cheat yourself in the process. And so I'm going to always remind you of that at the beginning of every video. Now, for those of you who are ready, let's move forward. This week's module is one of my favorites. It's about clarifying your dream. And so I'm going to give you a little background on me to why it's such an important story. When I was in the second grade, I decided I wanted to be a lawyer. I was watching Perry Mason with my grandmother, and she used to watch all the law shows, and I was like, I want to be a lawyer. And so I read books about lawyers, and I didn't read books about what lawyers did. I just read books about lawyers. There's a big difference. So all through high school, when everybody else is exploring different careers, I'm like, nope, I want to be a lawyer. All through college, when everybody's exploring different careers, I'm like, nope, want to be a lawyer. And then I get in law school, and I go to law school, and guess what? I absolutely hate it. I hate the type of work it is. I hate the mentality around the law. And I'm like, gosh, I don't want to do this. The problem is I don't know what else I want to do, because all my life I've only known that I wanted to be a lawyer. So I complete law school for two reasons. One, because I'm not a quitter. And two, because I don't know what else to do. If I quit, what am I going to do? And so when I finish law school, I go and I get these jobs, different jobs, legal jobs, bankruptcy, criminal court, juvenile court, and I just don't like them. Now, I like the pursuit of the job. I like doing my resume. I like interviewing. I like the meeting of the people, but I don't enjoy the work at any of those jobs. And so one day my husband says to me, he says, what do you want to do? What does your dream job look like? And so I was like, okay, well, in my dream job, I meet with people to work on things that are important to them. That's all I had at the time. And he's like, yeah, don't know what that is. But he did say this. He said, but keep searching. And so he would tell me that whenever I had a job, to list what I really loved about it and to list what I didn't like about it. And so over time, some of you have heard the story before, I ended up going back and getting a master's in psychology, largely because my daughter was playing basketball and I wanted to be able to help her have the greatest mental capacity. That then helped me see that one of the reasons that people were stuck was because they didn't know how to shift their mindset. That led me into me getting certified as a dream coach. And then I started the whole Live Your Dreams movement, which is about helping women to identify their God-given dreams and live on purpose. So I have a lot of experience of not knowing exactly what your dream is, which is probably why this is my favorite segment. So, you may not know exactly what you want to do. Some people are blessed and they're like, Edwin knew he wanted to be in education, so he just has always been in education. He's always found the next job in education that he loved. And so for everybody, that's not necessarily true. Sometimes people don't get the opportunity to dream. Sometimes their dreams aren't cultivated. Sometimes, in my case, what you thought was your dream, you get there and you're like, whoa, I do not want this. So how do we start to begin to clarify our dreams? We begin to look at who we really are. One of the things, the reasons that I did not like legal work is because it was too technical and it was too repetitive. I like the people part. And when I look back now, whenever there were cases, I always wanted to know why the people did what they did. So if someone killed somebody, I wanted to know why. If somebody was getting a divorce, I wanted to know why. If somebody breached a contract, I wanted to know why. So what I really loved about law was actually the stories about the people. And what I began to find is that in every job, what I loved was the why. Why are people doing what they do? Like, that doesn't stress me out. I get so much enjoyment out of reading books, reading articles, and talking to people, trying to understand what makes them think the way that they think. And so it's important for you to pay attention to, okay, what do I love to do? What am I good at doing? What do I get joy out of doing? And I think it's really important to pay attention to how your energy flows when you do work. So, for example, years ago, I was our administrative pastor at our church, which meant I was responsible for execution and all of the administrative tasks, right? Like the people were under me. And I hated it. And I could do it, and I was pretty good at it. But it took so much of my brain power because my brain doesn't naturally flow that way, right? And so then when I came home, I didn't have energy for anything else because it was taking so much of my energy to just figure out that to make sure I didn't miss anything. Now, Edwin, on the other hand, that's his wheelhouse. Like, he loves the details. He loves getting in there, making sure the processes and stuff. So he could do it in his sleep. He could do it over lunch. He could do it while watching a football game. I couldn't. And so sometimes you have to go, okay, just because I'm good at something, should I be doing it because it doesn't necessarily give me life? I don't get any joy out of doing it. It zaps all of my energy in order to do it. So think about the lifestyle that you want to have. So I started with like, what did I want my family to look like? Well, because of what I wanted my family to look like, I also knew that law wasn't going to work for me because most of my friends were working 80 hours a week, and I wasn't going to work 80 hours a week because I wanted to be with my kids. And I understood that that was really kind of what you had to do in the beginning to get established. I found out pretty quickly that I needed autonomy. I needed to be able to dictate my own schedule. I don't like people telling me when to come and when to go. And it's but some people like that structure. You know, like one of my kids loves the structure of going being like, I'm supposed to be here at 9 and I'm supposed to be here at 10:15. And so you have to begin to think about what kind of quality of life do I want? What do I want? And then, you know, what kind of money do I want to work? So make. So for example, like you may say, I really want to be a teacher and I love being a teacher, but I need to make more money. So I'm not telling you that you can't be a teacher. I'm saying that this is when you look at your other gifts and say, okay, well, how can I bring in extra income? Being a teacher, can I tutor? Can I create a book? Can I create some type of process that serves other teachers or serves students or different things like that? Because you should be so I think you have to believe that whatever God has called you to do, there's provision attached to it. And even if people haven't made a lot of money with it, it doesn't mean that you can't make a lot of money with it. But if you get the mindset, oh, I just want to be a teacher, or I just want to be a social worker and they don't make a lot of money, or I just want to be a police officer and they don't make a lot of money, then what you do is you miss out on the God ideas that he would drop into your spirit, into your soul, that would allow you to be able to make additional income. So think about your life. You know, what does because this program is about money, but you have to look at the other aspects of your life to even know what kind of money you need to make, you want to make. What do dream vacations look like to you? What's your dream car? What does your dream house look like? What is your leaving your inheritance for your kids? What does that dream look like? And then you begin to know like what kind of money you need to make based on that. Are you going to have to become an investor because you don't know how to make the money, or your industry doesn't necessarily pay that much, but if you invested, if you did this, if you did that. And the reason I'm really careful not to be specific, like with do this or do that, is because I don't want you to just take things that I'm throwing out here and then go do them without you really doing the process of saying, okay, God, what did you create me to do? What do I love to do? Where are my streams of income? I think that that's really important for us to ask God, where are my streams of income? I think a lot of times people get frustrated because they see somebody else being blessed in an area, and so then they decide that that's the place that they should be blessed. And so I just want to challenge you this week, really thoroughly answer the questions. Really think about the kind of life you want. Where do you want to be a year from now? Where do you want to be 5 years from now? Where do you want to be 20 years from now? What's the inheritance that you want to leave behind after you are gone? What are the life lessons that you want to leave your kids? So one of the reasons that it's so important for me to do work that I love is because I wanted my kids to have that as an understanding. Their dad loves his work, their mom should love her work. So then my kids won't settle for jobs that they don't love, because it's a core value in our family that you love the work that you do, because loving the work that you do is going to impact how you show up with the people that you love. So do the work this week. If you have any questions, you can always put them in the group. I'm here to answer them. And don't shortchange yourself on the process. And also, don't be frustrated and overwhelmed if you don't know all the answers. You don't have to know all the answers. Dreams are journeys, and as you grow and become what you may have wanted in your 20s, may change in your 30s, may change in your 40s, may change in your 50s. Most people change careers 6 times. So don't feel like just because you started here that you have to stay here, because you don't have an exact answer, that you don't know exactly, that you can't move forward. Just stick with the process, and some things will become clear to you, and then you can work with the things you have. You don't always have to know the whole picture to move forward. You just have to take a step from where you are. So I hope you are doing your best work, because you deserve your best work.